Welcome to Milk Honey Rose. Okay, so I'm going to catch a visual. I haven't done this in a little while, okay? So come with me. I'm seeing a storm, but it's like the storm is in the distance and it's coming towards me, okay? But it's in black and white. And I see a full moon. And I see like a city with stores, okay? But it's far away from me. But it doesn't feel like I am there. It feels like my presence is there. I don't know how to explain that. But that's the best way that I could explain it. It feels like my presence is there. Almost like me dropping in to see what's going on. Like a watcher is what it felt like to me. It looked like a movie scene to me in a way as well. But it was black and white. Let me see what I'm getting from that. The moon was very close to the surface. I know in certain places around the world, you know how, well, I don't know if you know, but in certain places around the world, it's like the sun seems like it's closer, or the moon seems like it's a little closer, or the sky just feels like it's right next to you. It's not like it doesn't feel far in certain places. And it just felt very close. The moon was very close. Usually when I look up at the moon, it's smaller. This moon was big, and it was like it was zoomed in. That's the best way that I can explain. Okay, through the storm, your intuition needs to be at its best. Before the storm comes is preferable. I'm getting. Don't wait for the storm to get here for your intuition to kick in, or for you to allow your intuition to spare you. I just heard. Okay. Allow your intuition to spare you. That might sound a little scary, but I don't mean it in that way. It's more so of sparing yourself time. Look at it that way. Spare yourself time. Practice patience. And see what's in store for you. Sometimes a storm is needed in order for you to wash away what is unnecessary, because storms do bring water, right? Yes. Storms bring water, and water is a purifier. Water does cleanse. And that's what I'm getting. It's a purification period. And recently, many places around the world have been going through severe floods. And I heard the great purification. That's what I'm getting. The message is the great purification. It's not only a purification for us as humans, it's also a purification for the earth. The purification is needed in order for new to make way. I don't know if you've ever heard this before, which I'm sure you may have, that in order to bring in new, you must make room for it. Because if you don't have any room for it, then you won't be able to receive. There's There's abundance coming your way. There's harvest coming your way. There is so much that is in store for you. You just want to make sure you have room to store what's in store. Wink, wink. Okay, you want to make sure you have room to store what is in store for you. For many of you, the abundance is going to come in a way in which you least expected it to. It's going to be surprising, but not in a bad way. It's going to be surprising in a way where some of you may feel it creeping up on you, but you don't really recognize what it is that you may feel. You don't know how to call it. You don't know how to put any specifics to it. It's just that you feel a nudge. Okay. So many of you could feel this abundance or something special coming, but you don't know exactly what it may be. I heard you're not meant to know everything all the time. I heard sometimes allow the surprises. It's good to allow the surprises. That's what I'm getting. It's good. It's not bad. Then you'll make way for a reason to smile instead of trying to know everything. Sometimes we might want to know too much. Sometimes you might want to know too much too fast. Get into the flow of things. The more you're into the flow of life, you just go with it. You're more so in the moment than worrying about the past and the future so much. You focus on the task at hand and you get it done. Get her done. Okay, get her done. That's what's coming to me. Focus on the task at hand. Sometimes it's just one of those things where it's not good to multitask. Sometimes it's feasible. Sometimes it works. But there are other times when it's not the best idea to multitask. And when your intuition is activated and it's turned on, then you will know when you have to have super focus. Because if you don't, it can cause issues for you. Okay? Be proactive in your production. I just heard be proactive in your production. The more proactive you are, the more you think about possible risks that could stop you from moving forward and cause a blockage for you. So you want to prevent blockages if you can, and have a plan for any potential blockages that could come your way. When your intuition and your discernment is activated, your ability to be prepared for the unknown, and of course there are some certain aspects that you may not be able to prepare for, especially if you're not familiar with them, with the possibilities. But to think, consider, and allow your mind to wander can lead you to places you've never been. So just thinking alone could really help you to not only just be laser focused, because that's what I'm getting, laser focused. It's also to be present to receive. When you're present, it's easier for you to receive. Like, think about it like this. And I know this has happened to many of you. Someone could be talking to you, right? It could happen when you could be going through something, or you're in your head about something, or something else is on your mind, and someone could talk to you, but you won't hear them. And then they'll be like, wait, did you hear me? And you'd be like, oh, no, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? Because you're in that moment, in that present moment, your presence was actually not present. You were in your head or in the past or in the future. Okay. This message is saying to focus more on the present so that you could receive, because it's time for you to receive. Not just materialistically, not just in the physical. However, spiritually as well, it's time for you to receive. Okay. This could have also happened with you recently, where you were talking to someone and they didn't hear you. They're right there, but they were in their head and they were thinking about something because something was on their mind. My mind's eye. I don't often get an itch on my forehead like that, but I just did. It's like, was that symbolic to the moment? It feels like it was. A cleansing of your mind's eye is a representation of the storm as it falls on your forehead. That sounds funny. The storm falls on your forehead is crazy. But the raindrops can fall on your head. Okay? Rainwater from the universe. Unify. Unification. Connection. Connection to the present moment and to the universe inside of you. Brings you to a place of oneness and stillness. The more oneness and stillness you have in these moments of being present, the better you are. Okay? It's all required in order for you to bring about the best in you. The best in you comes from it's a reaction to your presence, or you being present and focusing on living in the present moment. I keep on seeing that moon. The big moon is just so big and it's just so close. Okay. The wild, wild west. Why is the west wild? Why is the west wild? Does anybody have an answer? North, south, east, west. Okay. Were there many wars in the West? That's what I just got from that. Let me check. Let me see. I almost said let me see, but I was trying to say let me check. There's something about internal war here, like a war with self. Of course there were. Right? Of course there were many wars in the West. We are in the Western world, aren't we? Okay. So I'm just going to read what I have here. It says, throughout history, the Western world has experienced numerous wars, including the Napoleonic Wars. Napoleonic? I said Napoleonic. Napoleonic Wars, World War I, and the American Revolutionary War. These conflicts have significantly influenced the political, economic, and social development of the region. The American Revolutionary War, for example, was a pivotal event that led to the establishment of the United States of America and had a profound effect on American identity. The wars have left lasting impacts on military tactics and the handling of warfare today. Okay. The Western Wars. Okay. I'm going to leave it there, even though I'm looking at the list of wars that I see here. But I was going to read it, but I'm just going to, stop there. But there's something about, I'm picking up something else too about like, I'm picking up what is considered the Western part of our bodies. I don't even know if that makes sense, but that's what I'm picking up on. This energy is like, because when I thought about Wild Wild West, it made me think about those what do you call it? I want to say face-offs, if that's the right thing to say, in those Western movies, the ones that were in black and white. That's why I got to the point of thinking about wars, the Wild Wild West. Okay. But it wasn't an external war that was coming to my mind, to my thoughts. It was an internal war. And remember, I mentioned the mind's eye needing purification. The more clutter you have, right? Even in your home, think about your home. If your home is a mess and the dishes are not clean and the floor is not swept, I don't know about you, but that drives me crazy. I don't like that. It makes me feel like that inside. Okay? And it's the same with certain people. If you have certain people around you, they can make you feel out of order as well, because their energy could be chaotic, and their chaotic energy can infiltrate your energy and have you feeling some type of way. And then that's when you know it's like, okay, I can't be around you because you're too much. I just want you to relax. Okay. However, there's some people that they have trouble with that. So what I'm getting here is, I'm getting a few things, but the first thing I'm going to say is the internal war that many of you could be experiencing right now. It actually does not have anything to do with you per se. It has to do with those on the outside of you, the external. They are the storm. And the moon in that imagery that I saw in the visual, in my vision, the moon is like the representation of you amongst the chaos and stillness. Okay, I'm catching it. That big moon, it was big. It was bigger than, I want to say bigger than the storm. The moon is big. The moon controls. How'd I go? I'm seeing a moon now with the reflection of the moon in the ocean. And then I see the rays of the moon rays. I've never said that before. The moonlight, I should say. I'm seeing it in the ocean. That's what I'm seeing right now. Okay. The wind. How does that go? There's something here. I know the wind, the waves of the ocean creates the winds, is what I'm saying. There's something else here. The moon. I'm getting the moon motivates the ocean waves. Just like the energy from the moon, that intuition, that intuitive feminine energy is filled with emotions. It's like this message keeps on expanding as I'm saying it, and I'm just trying to hold on to it before it runs away from me. Okay. So the water is a representation of our emotions. The intuition, the moon, has a connection to the ocean, to the emotion. Have you ever noticed that those who have dementia, when it's a full moon, they be going through changes? Have you ever seen that before? They many of them act erratic. They act out of the norm. Like, even though they have dementia, right? It's like everything is enhanced and it increases. It becomes much more potent. And there goes to show one example of how humanity is really connected to the universe and the earth. Okay, let me look that up real quick. What? Okay, hold on. Why do people with dementia act erratic during a full moon? Disruption of their sleep-wake cycles, it says. Why do people with dementia act erratic during a full moon? The erratic behavior of people with dementia during a full moon is often attributed to the disruption of their sleep-wake cycles, which can be exacerbated by increased nocturnal light. This disruption may lead to confusion and agitation, particularly during sundowning, a phenomenon where patients become increasingly confused and restless as the sun sets. While some caregivers report sundowning as a full moon effect, scientific studies have found no direct causal link between lunar phases and dementia symptoms. Not too sure about that. Because I know we're connected, so sometimes everything is not shared on the World Wide Web. Instead, the most plausible connection involves the increased ambient light from a full moon potentially disrupting the already fragile sleep-wake cycles of individuals with dementia. It's like they're saying that there's no scientific connection because maybe it wasn't found yet, or maybe it's just not updated yet. Okay. However, I've seen it before over and over again. So through experience, I've seen different individuals with dementia that have acted very erratic and confused during a full moon. Okay, that was just a side note. But it does matter in this message because it's like stating that when you are tapped into the moon energy, instead of fighting against it, you have more control. So from what I'm getting, individuals who have dementia, they're already struggling with not having the ability to utilize a certain aspect of their brain because it has, I want to say it's become corrupted. Okay, so the ability to use the intuition and those spiritual gifts that we have and discernment, it becomes tainted. The ability has flaws now because it's there's an issue, there's a sickness there's an illness. But when there is no illness, then you can utilize the power in a way to where you make the choice as to if you're going to be present or not. The more you choose to be present, the more you'll be able to receive. Okay, and now I'm going back to the message where I told you that abundance is on its way. Purification is needed in order for you to be able to receive the abundance that is coming your way. So to prepare for it is to make room, make space for it. When I looked up at the timer, it said 24 2457. So let's see what that angel number says. Transformation, balance, and spiritual growth. Yes, that is what's happening right now. Transformation, balance, and spiritual growth. Okay? And this is on a mass level. The angel number 2457 carries a powerful message of transformation, balance, and spiritual growth. It signifies that the angels are offering guidance and support in your spiritual journey, encouraging you to embrace change and seek inner wisdom. Yes. Instead of inner chaos. Don't allow the external chaos to get inside of you. That is the message here. Because I just went a loop-de-loop. I have many loops and I just put them all together. Okay. There was many cycles. It was like moon cycles, I want to say. It was like circles overlapping. And in that moment, I saw many circles come together as one in my mind. It was like, it looked like, I don't even know how to call this. It looked very geometric. Even though it was just cylinders, it was the way it came together in my mind. Okay. Additionally, this number emphasizes the importance of healing and self-care. Yes. Reminding you to focus on your well-being. If you keep seeing this number, it may also be a sign to find balance in your life and reassess your priorities. That's what this is about as well, this message, your priorities. What is your focus? What are your priorities? Sometimes when I get these messages, I feel like little something on me. But there's nothing there, but there's something there. I don't know. Don't mind me. Just a moment I shared. Okay, so the more you're in the present moment, the more you can receive. The more you focus on shadow work as well, and you clear what needs to be remedied from your past, and you acknowledge it, you make sense of it, you call it for what it is, and you move on and you grow from it by taking something from it that can be beneficial to you on your journey, and you close it out instead of allowing it to continue to bother you. You are also making room, because those things from the past also take up room, they take up space, and they take up your capacity to be able to receive what's meant for you. Many times there's so many things so many gifts and so many opportunities that were available to you. However, you didn't see them because you were full of rubbish. I don't usually say rubbish, but I just heard rubbish. You were full of rubbish, okay? Rubbish is, it's like things on your mind that are not really worth it. They're not really worth your thoughts. They're not really worth your time. So when your mind is focused on things that don't really mean much anymore, it's hard for you to see what is meaningful, and you get bogged down with the weight of the chaos. And within the chaos, sometimes there are jewels, sometimes there are treasures. You can find diamonds in the chaos, but in order for you to see them, you must slow down. That always reminds me of when you're driving, you could look over, but everything's moving really fast. You're not going to be able to see two butterflies flying around with each other. It's very seldom that you'll be able to see that at such a high speed. Even if it's 30 miles per hour, there are certain things that you're not going to see because you're primarily focused on driving, right? So there's things that you're not going to see. However, when you take walks, you see things that you would not see when you were driving because you slow down. When you slow down, you see more. You pay attention to more. You hear certain things. You might hear a bird that you've never heard before, but you think it's a bird, or maybe it's a different animal, but you hear a sound that is unfamiliar to you. If you were driving and the windows were up, you would not have heard that. You would not have had that experience. And it's the same effect that you have when it comes to opportunities and an option to go in a certain direction, because we can even miss the fact that there is an option if your mind is on something else. Your mind is somewhere else. Just like back to what I said, where I was envisioning. I almost said envisioning and visualizing at the same time, but I was envisioning someone saying something to someone else, and this could have happened to you, or you could have been speaking to someone and this happened to the person that you were speaking to. But someone was speaking to someone and the person that was speaking had to repeat themselves because the other person, they didn't hear, because they weren't present in that moment. They were in their head, either in the past or in the future. I heard in the past, in the future, or in the unknown. So sometimes one can even be stuck in a space that hasn't even happened. It doesn't exist. It could be a thought of a possibility, and it's possible to get stuck there as well. So spirit is really like this energy. My spirit is coming through to give this message, like saying, be present. The more present you are, the more you pay attention and focus on one thing, because there's something here about not focusing on too many things. Try your best not to do that if you can. The least in your vision, the better the result I'm getting here. Okay. The least that is within the vision, like it needs to be narrowed down, because there are times when something seems like it's just too much. Okay. It could be overwhelming. You want to minimize that. You want to reduce that possibility of feeling overwhelmed and break it down. Break it down so that it does not feel like too much to bear, because oftentimes when one feels like that, when they know a storm is coming, or when in the midst of the storm, it can make you not want to do anything at all. Okay? So, in order for you to have that motivation within you to move, being in the present moment and focusing on self and how you feel inside of you, it will be easier for you to detect whatever else is on the outside of you that is infiltrating your energy, causing you distress. Because sometimes so many things could be happening that you might get lost in the midst of it all and not be able to detect what the problem is. Right now in this time, it is a superpower to be able to detect a problem, to eliminate it. Okay, so allow this message to speak to you in a way that will benefit you, because this is a message that could benefit many. It's just the reality of space and time right now. I heard clear your space to give yourself more time. Make room for your abundance. Okay? I heard you've gotten enough milk. Now it's time to let It's time to mix the honey. You've gotten enough milk. It's time to mix the honey so you can grow. Remember, 2457, transformation, balance, and spiritual growth. This is a very, this message is harmonizing with yourself. It's self-harmonizing, eliminating, I'm hearing deprivation, depriving oneself of the ability to be present. Try your best not to do that. Try your best not to deprive yourself from being present. Okay. Let me see if anything else is coming through here. It's right at your fingertips. That's what I got. It's right at your fingertips. Don't think it's not, because it is. If you say that, you're going to push it away. Say, no, come here. No, come on. Don't push it away. You want this. Push away and repel what is infiltrating your ability to be in the present moment. So be careful not to push away what actually benefits you. Okay, so that's it for this message. And I'll see you in the next one.